Guys, it's Saber from the Neighborhood. I'm coming at you with a celebratory video because as of today, November 26, 2019, the Neighborhood has hit 500 war wins, as you can see right there, which is just a phenomenal achievement. We're really proud of it, and we're really, thankful for all the hard work that people have put in over the years. We've been together now since approximately, I think the clan was founded 2014, or actually 2013, excuse me. We're going on 7 years in May, actually. So it's been quite a ride. But the clan obviously had some humble beginnings with myself and a few others from my personal neighborhood starting the clan, not being very serious clashers. And, to be blunt, we sucked. And so we started off maybe with like 20 or 30 wins to 120 losses. And in the last 4 or 5 years, we really turned that around. And we are now 500, 218, and 8 out of a total of 726 wars, which is a little bit over of a 2/3 winning percentage, somewhere around 67, 68% win percentage. If you throw out our, first 150 wars, it's a lot higher than that. We're talking about roughly, say, 380 and 100, which is a much better percentage, closer over that 75, almost 80% rate. We consistently win 4 to 5 wars pretty much every streak before we lose. Every once in a while we have a slip up here, as you can see with that loss to Universal King and then another loss to Rice King. Universal King could have been a win. Go back to Afghan War, that could have been a win. Lost another tiebreaker against 80 Proof. The Departed was the only clan in recent memory that truly crushed us, although also Warriors TGN also. And then a couple losses back here, but in the last 90 or so days, we've really stepped it up, moving up 3 CWL tiers. And we're just going to do kind of a little bit of a celebratory war recap. So we wrecked a clan called Egypt Forces today. It came right down to the buzzer. And we're just going to go through some of the triples, and we'll go through them in order. So striking with First Blood was Shady Titan, coming in on Galactus 5. This was straight off the Itsu video, basically. Not this base, but the attack strategy. So you see the heavy on the P.E.K.K.A.s, coming in with the Warden Walk, and funneling, and then just basically going to jump through and using that Stone Slammer to kind of pick off buildings on the edge. He's got a P.E.K.K.A. running on the top for a funnel. And when we were planning this attack, one of the things we were concerned about was that top edge, and so that's why he added that extra wizard up there, as you can see. But the P.E.K.K.A. did exactly what it's supposed to. A little bit under-defended base in terms of the cannons being weak. Maybe a couple of the mortars aren't fully done, as well as some of the archer towers. That's no matter. You got to take advantage of those kind of things in a clan war. I'm going to speed it up just a little. The one mistake he made here was he popped his Warden's ability just automatically. I think, going through his deployment, he's used to dropping that Warden. This was the first time he'd run a Warden walk in a war. And so he just thought to drop it, but he pressed him when the rest of the troops were coming in. But then just sort of raged his way through the middle. Got the back-end Slammer coming in here. And what that Slammer basically is doing is kind of picking off those edge defenses. And as you can see, there's a nice straight line all the way down through, right into that Inferno Tower compartment. So it got 4 or 5 defenses, and the Slammer's still up. It's still functioning, and it's going to get even more defenses. So that was really a truly huge value. If the Queen would have stayed in, I would have liked to have seen her do a little bit of work on that Expo and maybe the Wizard Tower up there. But she ends up getting them actually later on. So here that is. She ends up just kind of pounding on the wall, as Queen's prone to do. And ends up basically shooting through the wall, pops the ability, gets the Inferno Tower, gets the Wizard Tower, gets the air defense, actually gets the Archer Tower as well. And then the P.E.K.K.A. and the King and this minion are more than enough to clear the day. So we'll speed it up to 4 times to get through that. And Shady drew First Blood with a triple. And then overnight, of course, we wake up and they've dropped several triples, so we have to respond to that. And the next person to respond was, I believe, Pointlessness. And let's see, which one did he do? He did 16, I think? Yeah. So Pointlessness coming in on 16. Point tends to do these either Hog attacks or P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. This is a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, very premature Town Hall 12. We're going to put this on 4 times. These are the kind of attacks where you can take advantage of it, do so, easy 3-star. And so nicely, he kind of found the Tesla farm by accident, just where he intended to funnel, and so it ended up being even more value for his kill team. Queen sort of walked on him, but again, this is such a weak base that it really doesn't matter, and she ends up actually getting healed all the way back up, which is a pretty amazing fact. Sends the bats in from the top, freezing on that Inferno Tower and the Wizard Tower, and as you can see, this base is absolutely wrecked. Really premature Town Hall 12, and point being a max 12, this was an easy triple, and we weren't going to turn it down. So on to the next base. So we got Big Al coming in. Big Al had a rough war. He's on vacation right now, so not the usual planning putting in, I guess. But he was only 1 of 4 of this war. But this was a beautiful attack, nice little hog raid. Starts with a queen charge down here around that 3 o'clock side. More of a queen walk than a queen charge, but sends her in, has to drop the rage here because she comes under heavy fire, and also has to pop the ability, I believe, shortly. Maybe not. It's been a while since I watched this one. Uses the wrecker to bust in, basically. There's the ability now. Queen ends up just kind of following that wrecker in. It's making a nice beeline towards the town hall, but then she ends up walking back out. So the queen didn't do exactly what he wanted, but it is all right, and he takes a gamble here, and we had previously seen many lava hounds in the CC. Very nice use of those loons, by the way. And so he sent the lure in with those loons, brought the baby dragon out, which says to him that it is the lava hound, and so that means he's good to start on his hogs. He sets the funnel with the king on the top there, and comes in with the mass hogs and the warden, uses the freeze and the quake on the town hall, which is a very common strategy. You've probably seen it all over YouTube, and then he just basically has the hogs just kind of ramble on through this base. Poisons the king and the enemy CC, which is that lava hound. But there's more than enough hogs left to kind of clear things up. It wasn't a perfect pathing. He missed a couple of those defenses on the back end, but he has so many little archers and cleanup troops that's really not going to be an issue. And I think the king is going to end up still standing at the end here, which is kind of funny. I always find that kind of cool when the king ends up standing. Oh, actually, no, they killed him. So there you have it, another triple there. And then following that, we had a showing up from myself with my secondary count, Rosemary L. This was a pretty easy base, I thought, so I figured, hey, give it the bat slap dragon. Easy. When I see these exposed air defenses here and here, I'm thinking maybe I can get my queen to walk up and around. Well, I realized that I didn't think I could funnel it properly, so my goal was to kind of have the queen walk from this, air defense maybe up towards this wizard tower and try and get a couple of these defenses up here to see if I could help the bats later on. And as I was looking down here, I saw that the Inferno Tower and the Wizard Tower in 2 different spots are right on top of each other, which are very great for freezing. So that was kind of my thought process there. Queen did almost exactly what I wanted her to, except then she walked back. But she does end up getting the Warden Tower, so that was always good. Start with a couple of loons searching for coconut mines. Speed up to 2, got a couple of them there, so that was a win. And then we just sort of rage into the town hall, and all the rest of the spells are for the bats. So there's the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome ability, getting us through there. The Eagle's going to go down early, and originally I planned to drop the bats on the back end, but seeing how the dragons moved over to there first, I dropped the bats here, take care of business there, and they clear out a whole ton of things. They get the Inferno Tower, they get the Wizard Tower, they get a air defense. It wasn't quite enough to get through this secondary Inferno Tower and Wizard Tower bunker, but there's still like 5 or 6 dragons left and an Electro Dragon. Fortunately, that Electro Dragon actually took a Seeking Air Mine, because otherwise he might have killed the Lava Hound, and that would have been a mess if you look at how low health these dragons are. So we're going to let them just kind of work through, and from here on out, it's basically the dragons are there, and there's not enough defenses to kill them. So there you have it. It's going to be 3 stars, and that Lava Hound is still standing. That's one of the important things with Bat Drag. If you can keep the Lava Hound alive, do it. Try not to pop him if you don't have to. It just slows your troops down. And then one of our 2 MVPs this war is going to go to our friend Koi and our other friend Silent Chaos. I'm trying to find Koi's first attack. So here it was. This was Koi's first attack. Koi came in with a triple overnight. He marked the space as mass Electro Dragons, and then he executed it. You see these compact bases with all these things kind of lined up. The chain value is absurd. As you can see, he literally just rages them on through the base, and everything just gets chain destroyed. One chain value took out half the base and hit the town hall there, as you can see. So pretty incredible. Just absolute overkill. He still has 3 freeze spells and a rage left, and it's pretty clear that this base does not have enough to stop him. So we're just going to watch it kind of play out. But as you can see, compact bases, Electro Dragons, game over. And they do take their good old time once they decide to kill that king, but there's only a cannon left, so there's nothing that can hurt them, so it really didn't matter. So there's Koi's first triple, and then we're going to follow that up with the appearance of Silent Chaos, who took care of business. He's been real good on these air raids lately, and these were premature bases that a bunch of our lower Town Hall 12s had failed, so he took the big dip from 6 to 18, put it on 4 times, comes in with just kind of the mass bat drag. He uses a couple more Electro Dragons than I prefer to, but it seems to work for him, so maybe I should kind of steal his play cards. But but hey, who knows? With the Electro Dragons to build the funnel and the king and queen sort of working down the edge, there's nowhere for these troops to go but in. And then once they're sort of in the core, he drops the bats, freezes the Inferno Tower, freezes a Wizard Tower, takes care of a ton of defenses, and this base is absolutely smacked. Truly nothing to be done. He's going to follow that up with the exact same kind of raid on 17, and this was actually the attack that gave us a 1-star lead in the war. Well, it technically tied the war, but it gave us an advantage in terms of triples. But there was one base that was 1-star, which I'll get to in a second. So again, he has that nice hero walk, gets a ton of value. The Electro Dragons set the funnel, and then he just sort of rages his way on in. And once those troops get about halfway to the center, the bats start coming down. They take care of a whole bunch of defenses. They get the Inferno Tower. They get a second Inferno Tower. They get pretty much everything except that back-end air defense. Well, actually, they do get that and a couple of Teslas. But there's so many dragons that it really doesn't matter. He was very close on time on this one. It literally came down to the last second, as you can see. Time's getting tight, and these dragons basically decide to take the long way and go all the way around the base. And so with 1 second left, you're going to see it here. The Grand Warden gets into range and one-shots this Elixir Collector. So that was really clutch. And then the attack that truly put the icing on the cake and sealed the deal, that's going to go to Koi, who came in with the Sui Lalo, an attack that he specializes in, and really just kind of ruined their day. We ended up winning 65-63, and it was 63-63 before this attack. So you can say that this was the game-winning attack, even though Silent Chaos kind of set the stage for it to matter. If Koi would have 2-starred here, this attack would have sealed the deal as well, because they did not triple again. It's one of the nice things strategically about holding a couple of your best attackers to the end. Typically, myself and Koi will hold until the end of wars. That gives us at least 2 or 3 attacks, usually from some of our guys that are prone to triple. Uses those wall breakers to break in nicely there. He's going to get an Inferno Tower and an air defense. He actually might even be able to push her up to get that second air defense, which I think was his initial goal. But it's just a hair out of range, it looks like, because the wall breakers did not quite make it through the second layer of walls. However, his pathing is now set. The hound's coming in, second hound coming in, more loons. Look at those surgical loons. He's got them coming in sort of in that counterclockwise direction. He uses the earthquake spell on the town hall and a freeze on the town hall. He also noticed, a lot of those ground expos, right? When you see ground expos, take advantage of that. And so he did. The town hall's going to go down in a second now, and then they're going to haste their way on out. Does a little bit of damage, I think, from the Giga Bomb, but not quite enough to kill them. Queen is still up, though, so that's one of the things here that was a little bit scary. However, he does have these 2 skeleton spells and a freeze, and so he's basically betting that the pups and the skeleton spells are more than enough to take her down. She takes a little bit of splash damage from these loon drops here, but not quite enough to truly kill her. He does have that Stone Slammer, though, and I'm going to bring it up to 2 times. There's loons aplenty and the Stone Slammer. He's got cleanup going all over, and the question is, what is in that Stone Slammer? Is it something that can actually take down this Inferno Tower? And it turns out it is, because it's 6 more loons and a freeze spell, which is really great. And then Koi took it down. He even gets to swag the rage here at the end. I don't know if he actually did it, though, but as you can see down there, there's a rage spell that he has kind of in reserve. And so that sealed the deal, and we won the clan war, and we are now at 500 wins. So the Neighborhod is up to 500 wins, 218 losses, I believe, and 8 draws for a total of 726 wars. We're back up to a streak of 4, looking to keep that going. We did a little taunt here because the enemy clan was from Egypt, and they were consistently taunting us. A couple of them came to their clan and said, "My name is so-and-so, prepare to die," that sort of thing. So we, of course, responded, and there's a nice spelling error there, but we said, "Egypt ain't done shit since the pyramids," which, however you feel about Egypt, I think that's pretty funny. So well, anyway, thanks for watching today. If you're interested in joining up, as always, the Discord link will be in the description. Our in-game clan is accepting currently Town Hall 10 to 12, and our feeder is accepting all Town Halls. That is Neighborhod 2. I'll also post a tag for that in the description. This is Saber from the Neighborhod signing off. Thanks and have a great day, and happy Thanksgiving to all of those who are in the Americas.